What's going on, people? It's Emmanuel for Altenor Media. I'm back again with another recap, review, reaction of Atlanta, the Robbin season. This time it's episode 7, which was titled Champagne Papi. This was Van's episode. Now this episode, it was following a hard act. You know, the last 2 episodes were absolute classics, Teddy Perkins and the Barbershop episode. So this had some pressure on it, but I think, this was a real cool down episode. It wasn't too complicated, especially after just the thrill ride, the mystery that Teddy Perkins was. I didn't mind this episode. So we got into Van's episode where we start off with Van is with her friends. They're having a girls' night out. They're at home, pre-gaming. They're drinking. They're rolling up a blunt. They're talking about sex. They're even talking about, they're even clowning one of the other friends, because she says she uses condoms. So I thought this was real interesting because we kind of see, the ladies, in each other's company. And they're talking just like the fellas talk, They're real unfiltered, talking craziness. And then we find out that, they're going to a party that Drake is hosting, at Drake's house. And one of Van's friends is seeing the barber, the tour barber, and the tour barber gets them into the party. So now this is kind of like, a groupie episode. So the girls they're getting ready. They meet up with her connect at a secret location, where they have to get inside of, a big party van. And it seems like the party van is even tinted from the inside, so they don't even know where they're driving to. And then when they get to the mansion, when they get to Drake's house, supposedly, he's telling them, file out, like they're a bunch of schoolgirls, and then he lets them know, you take out your ID, so they can know, what you're doing here. And then he tells them they have to put on like these bags on their feet. And the girls are excited, the women are excited, they're more than willing to oblige and do it. So I got a few notes down, so I'm gonna be looking down every now and then, looking at my notes, And of course, if we go back a little bit, Van, she's not even excited about the party until she's going through Instagram and she sees a video of some woman doing Ern's hair. So that's when she gets excited. She wants a picture with Drake. So this episode is going to be centered around Van's, her thirstiness to get that picture with Drake to make Ern jealous and all that. So they're at the party and he tells them to file out and all that. And then they get in and they see, a black actor, and he has a white girlfriend or a white wife. And that kind of bothers all of them, but in particular it bothers one friend, and it's interesting that it's the friend with the darkest skin tone that it bothers. Because you all know that, it's hard for black people in general, but it's even harder for dark-skinned women. So, they tend to feel it the most because they have it the hardest. So, and she actually gets into it with the woman a little later on in the episode, where we hear a lot where the actor's wife, she's usually with him since he was in high school, or she was with him when he was struggling and all that. But she says that, as a black woman, she doesn't have, the luxury of waiting on someone because, her life is hard as it is, which is a good point. And the boyfriend comes in at the end, and he could have blown up on Van's friend, but he didn't. He was real conscious of her feelings, which was a nice touch. That he knew where she was coming from. And so we got Van. So they did a little craziness this episode too, because Van and the homegirls they took just ate some gummies from one of their friends, from one of her friends, her connect, gave them some gummies and they just ate them, and that kind of had one of the friends, Nadine, had her twisted. And you could see Van is a good person, but she was determined to get that picture with Drake. So even when Nadine was like sick, she was like, she wants to go home. Van was like, we're not going home until I get this picture. So Van was determined to get that picture, and then we see her walking through the house, and she meets this guy who's supposed to help her find Nadine. But I think, she was going to try to use this dude to help her find Drake also. So she goes downstairs with this dude, and, they're in Drake's studio, and she's asking him, how do you know Drake? And she finds out that he doesn't really know Drake, and he seems like he wants to cling on to her for the night, and she's like, I got no time for that shit. I'm trying to find Drake. So on the first watch, it seemed like she was trying to, she might have been scared of him, because he was real thirsty. But I think she just wanted to get rid of him so she could go find Drake. So, she got rid of him, and then she goes off. She's walking through the mansion. And she comes up into a room. You're supposed to be looking for Nadine, and you're hollering Drake's name. Drake? So that was crazy. And so she gets to, I think, a closet. She puts on one of his jackets. She smells it. And then she goes into the bathroom and starts spraying. I don't know if it's some body spray or some cologne, but she sprays it all over. She keeps walking through the house. And then she walks up to someone that is his grandfather, I think it was. I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know exactly what he was saying. Maybe y'all could explain, that whole part, but it looks like it was Drake's grandfather and all that. And so she's walking through his house. And then, now let me sidestep a little bit. And we cut to a scene where the friends are in the living room, and they're just standing there, and you see women in bikinis, you see women on mechanical bulls, they're dancing and going crazy. You could tell that Van and her friends, they're not really cut out for that life, they're calling, the girls at the party thoughts. So they're trying, but they're not really, that ain't really for them. So, what else we got here? Oh, and we had a Darius sighting. That was so unexpected. Out of nowhere, and it's interesting, Darius, he's the one who probably kept Nadine safe. Her friends weren't really looking for her. Van wasn't really even looking for her, but Darius, somehow he found her and he kept her safe. They were having a great conversation and all that. So that was cool how Darius was there to, keep her company and keep her safe, because, it's especially a party like that, it could be dangerous for somebody who's inebriated like that. It was twisted, whatever was in that gummy and all that junk. And this part, and then we find out that Drake is not even at the party. So Van is like, she walks into a room and then they have like a lifelike cardboard cutout of Drake that all the ladies were using to take pictures with, which was crazy. Van wasn't willing to go that far, but it was real crazy. Like Drake, he probably hosted maybe like 10 parties just like that around the world. So that was crazy. So then, Van was like, she's done with the party. Her only mission was to take that picture with Drake. And Darius, he spoke of like how, people were just, we were nothing. We are just like, Sims. And I think he's they might be touching on even like the entertainment business, how everything is just fake, everything is just an appearance, and everything that's associated with it, with the party, people are taking pictures and with a cardboard cutout of Drake just for the Instagram fame, like everything is associated with it is just, it's just a huge game. So let's get to, since it's Robbin season, of course, let's get to the meaning of this episode, who was robbed. And I think that Van was robbed of course, she was robbed of her opportunity to take a picture with Drake, but that ultimately meant that she was robbed of her opportunity to make Earn jealous, because that was her mission from the moment she saw Earn in the video with getting his hair done by that woman. That was her mission, was to get a picture with Drake and show Earn that, she's out there. She's chilling. So, and, she was thirsty and determined to do it. But at the end, she was like, it ain't worth it at all. And lastly, the funny part at the end when she says that, Drake is Mexican, because of his Mexican grandfather. I'm assuming that they're touching on the fact that Drake, he's able to adopt so many different, musical cultures, and he's able to be accepted by so many different cultures. He has that ability. So if this were another episode, Drake could be almost, anything. So I'm thinking they're touching on his ability to just be just so adaptable, so lovable to, all different cultures. So anyway, I think this was a solid episode. Of course, it could not follow, episode 5 and 6, but it was a good episode. So what did y'all think about the episode? What did y'all think the episode meant? Who was robbed this episode? Let me know in the comments, and I will be reviewing episode 8. I think that is Paperboy's episode. I saw a small preview of it. He was running through the woods or something, so that should be interesting. So let me know in the comments what you think. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, share the video. Thank you for watching. Once again, it's Emmanuel. Peace.